In this video, you will learn a proven step-by-step method to create forgot password system. So, stay with me. Hey, what's up guys? Senaid here from CodePasswordIncome.com, the place where I help others to become a web developer much easier and faster than they will do it on their own. So, if that's something that interests you, consider subscribing. So before we actually start reading any code, I want to explain you the basics that you need to understand for this tutorial. So what we are going to do, we will actually create one input. It will be an email, and then we will create one button here. So this email we will verify in the database if it exists. So when someone press this button here, we will make a request to the PHP, okay, AJAX request. And then from PHP, we will check in the MySQL table, do we already have this email in the database? If we do have, we will create a token, which is just a random string, because we want to make sure that this person requested a password, and then we will send an email to that person. So let's say we are sending here an email, and now when that person go to his email inbox and open it up, he will have a link. So when he click on that link, we will redirect him to another page. So let's say this is some page, and we are going to say reset password, okay? And now on this page, all we need to do is to verify the token that is in the URL that is from this email. And if the token is okay and the email match that token too, we are just going to create a new password and then redirect back the person to the login page. So pretty much that's very simple way to achieve this, and let me now show you how to write the code. So now I'm here at my PHP store. I've created a new project and also an empty forgotpassword.php file. So first thing that I want that you do is to actually make sure that you have a table similar to this one. So as you can see in this table, I have name, email, password, token, and token expire. So the important things here are email, password, token, and token expire. And of course, for those of you that want to download the source code, you can check the description below. So this is from my old login system. And if you want to learn how to create login system, I have quite a different tutorials on my YouTube channel, so make sure to watch some of them. Anyway, so first thing I want to go is to include the Bootstrap, because I want to create nice looking forgot password page. So in this time I'm just going to use CDN link from here. Okay, I'm not going to download everything. So here I will just start a basic HTML document. So let's say title forgot password system, and then I will paste my link to the Bootstrap. Okay, now first thing that we need to do is to create a container, and in this container we are going to create one row, and in this row I'm just going to justify content to the center of the screen, and then I'm just going to create one column. So let's say I will set to the 6, and then I will add offset to the 3, so that we have in the middle 6 columns and 3 from both sides. Okay, and then of course I will align everything to the center here also, and that's it. So now at the top I will include my logo just to make it a little bit nicer. I'll make 2 new lines, and then I'm just going to, let's say, have one input. Okay, I will say class form control. This is of course from the Bootstrap. Let's say ID will be email, so you can quickly access it from the jQuery, and then placeholder will be your email address. And then below that we are just going to have one button. Class I will set to the btn and then btn primary, and value will be reset password. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so let's now quickly upload this and see how does it look like. So I'll test everything for my live server. Okay, and this is the basic design. So maybe I can just move everything down. So I will set container, maybe style, margin top to 100 pixels, and that's it. Okay, so this is very simple and nice looking forgot password. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is to include the jQuery. So I will go to the code.jquery.com and then I will use minified version. Okay, so I'll just copy this part here. Okay, and I will just paste it before closing body tag like this, and then I'm just going to do this quickly. Okay, so that code is a little bit readable, and then we are going to write JavaScript code here. Okay, so first we will wait for document.ready. Okay, and then when it's ready, I'm just going to set an onClick method for this email. So I'll say hashtag email dot on click function. Okay, and then here first thing that we need to do is to verify that actually this email input is not empty. So I'll say if, or maybe we can say if email, and even better because of the catching, it will be that we create new variable. So let's say like this email. So we'll set here like email dot on click, and then here we will say just if email dot wall different than empty. Okay, we will execute something else. Let's maybe just set red border around email, so we can say email CSS, and then you can say border 1 pixel solid red. Okay, and then here otherwise we will set just to the maybe solid green, like email is okay. And you can make a test for this part quickly. Okay, fresh, and now if I press reset password, it's nothing happening. So what is the problem? Oh, we have made small mistake here. Here we should set onClick method for our btn, because if it's only button here on the page, I will just use that. So I could use btn or btn primary, it will result the same. So let's just do this. Okay, and now it is red, and okay, it's green. Of course we can add some other validations, like if it's really an email, etc, etc, but that is not that much point of this tutorial. I have other tutorials that focus just only on validation of the inputs. So now the next thing, once we have done this, is to actually just make an Ajax call and send this email there. So we can say Ajax, and then here we will say that our URL will be this same page. Okay, method will be post, and then data type that will be returned by the server will be, let's say, text. Okay, and then data that we are sending to the server is, let's say, just an email. Okay, and email is email.bold. Okay, and now on success we'll say function response from the server, and maybe at the moment let's just print it to the console log. Okay, and that's it. So now let's make a test for this part. So I'll hit refresh, some email, set password. So maybe, so as you can see now in the console, it returned the entire source code of the page because we are making the request, and then because we do not expect any post method, the server will just return the entire source code. Okay, that's okay. And now let's write the part in the PHP. So I'll write it here at the top. You could also write it in some other file, but it's not that much important. So here I will say if visit post email, that means that someone is trying to reset. So I will first accept that email. Okay, and before that I'm going to make a connection to my database. So I will say new MySQLi, and then I will say localhost. Then we need to specify the username. Okay, the password, and then the database name. So I'm using forgot password, if I am correct for this tutorial. No, it's actually forgot password system. Okay, you need to make sure that those details are okay. Okay, and now here I'm just going to escape to make sure we are protected this email, and after that all we need to do is to make sure that actually there is an email in the users table. So I will say here connection query, and then I will say select, let's say ID from users, that's the name of our table, where email equal this email, and then we will say if SQL number of rows bigger than 0, that means that user with this email exists, and then we are going just to execute this part here, else we are just going to return the message and we'll say please check your inputs. Okay, maybe it will be better if we used the JSON, so we can say here something like JSON code and then array, and we will have to like status. Okay, is 0, which means it failed, and then the message is, let's say just, or we can say like this, please check your inputs. Okay, and then of course down here I will say 2 breaks, and then say like, we can even say paragraph and give it some idea like response, and here we can check if response dot success, if not response dot success, which means it's 0, we will just say that our response dot HTML equal response.message, and then CSS will be like color red. Okay, so we can test that part, and of course this needs to be JSON. So let's make a test for this part. Okay, I will hit refresh, and maybe let's say F12. So some email that doesn't exist, reset password. And as you can see here, now it shows please check your inputs. And if we check here what is returned by the server, as you can see we have status 0 and we have message please check your inputs. And of course if we write some email, we'll probably get back the source code. Okay, yeah, the response is an entire source code. Okay, so this part is working good. And then here we will say else, here color will be green if response is okay. Okay, so here I'll just duplicate, say success 1, and then here we will say please check your email inbox. Okay, so now before this we need first to create a token and then send an email to that person. Okay, so for us, in order to create a token, I'm just going to do something very simple. So let me show you step by step. Okay, so the idea to create a token is to first create a number of different or characters that you want to use, numbers and all other characters. So let's say I will say here string equal, and then I will just put like randomly from my keyboard, and then I'm also going to include some numbers. You can also include small and big letters, whatever. So next thing is that I want to do is to just mix all of them. So I'll say string shuffle string. Okay, and maybe let me just do like this. So if we make a test of the code, as you can see now it is looking different, and if we test again, every time it just mix the code, nothing special. Okay, so next thing that I want to use is to just get the specific number of the characters. So I will use the function substring. So I'm going to call it on the method string. I'll start from the position 0 and I want 10 characters. Okay, so let's make a test. And now as you can see, each time I'm getting 10 different characters that I will use as my token. Okay, and that's it, very simple. So I'll just copy this. Okay, we can close this tab, and maybe instead of string, let's say it will be token. Okay, and that's it. So now we need to set this token into our table. So we'll say connection query, and then we'll say update users, set token equal this token, and also I want to set an expiration time for this token. So I will set token expire equal, and then I will use the function from the MySQL. So let me just maybe put it here so I can nicely see what am I doing. Okay, so date add, and then to now, it means the current moment, we are adding interval of, let's say, 5 minutes. Okay, and that's it. And then only if someone in next 5 minutes click on the link that we will send to them, that means that he will be able to reset his password. Okay, and then we will say where email equal email. Okay, update users, set token equal token expire equal interval in 5 minutes from now. Okay, where email equal email, and that's it. Okay, so let's maybe make a test for this part. So I will hit reset password. It says please check your email inbox, but let's see what has happened here. Okay, so as you can see now, its token is here, and also the token expire is in 5 minutes from now. Of course, this is my server time. And if we try again, you can see that everything has been changed. Okay, amazing. So now once we have this part done, let's just send an email. And usually in the previous tutorial I have been using the native mail function, but this time we are going to use something much better. So I'm going to Google and I'm going to download the PHPMailer. Okay, so here I will go to this button and then go to download, and of course I will save it to this folder. Okay, I will hit save, and I will extract everything here. Okay, delete the archive, and then inside here we have all different files, but all we need are the files from this source folder. So first I will delete everything except the source. Okay, and then move those files here, and then of course I'm just going to rename it to something nicer like PHPMailer. Okay, and now while we code I will just put it for upload so that we don't wait later. Okay, so now first thing that we need to do is to include the namespace from this PHPMailer. So here at the top I will say use PHPMailer, and then I'm just going to include the classes. So I will say PHPMailer, and then I will use PHPMailer file, and the next one that we need to include is exceptions. Okay, and we can maybe include those only when we need them, so it's right here. Okay, so first we need to create an instance, a new object. So I'll say new PHPMailer. Okay, and then we need to set just a basic thing for any email. So we'll set from, which means who is sending an email. So let's say it's sending from this, from Bacinovic.com. Let's say the name is CPI, and then we need to set where we are sending, to which address. So that's our email actually, so I can switch those two. And then we need to set the subject. Okay, so let's say subject will be set password, and then we need to set a body of our email. Okay, so here I will just say hi, in order to reset your email, your password, please click on the link below. And here I will set a link. Okay, and that's it. and then maybe let's say kind regards Senaid B, whatever. Okay, so here we need to set 2 new lines. I'll set new line here and new line here, and maybe 2 new lines here. Okay, and now the crucial part is this link. So now our link will be basically the link to the folder, okay, like this. And then, so maybe let me just put this to new line so that you have only link in the new line, okay, like this. Okay, so the name of the file will be reset password.php, and then we need to pass an email, okay, which I will get from email variable, and then we need to have a token which is again in the variable token, and that's it. Okay, and then I'm just going to use this same link and paste it here. Okay, and that's it. And now we need for this mail to set that it is an HTML email. Okay, we are not going to send any attachment, and then I'm just going to send an email. So I'll say here if mail send, I will say this, else I will maybe say something wrong just happened, please try again. Okay, and that's it. Okay, and let's make a test. So I will quickly refresh. Okay, and then I'll write my email here that I have in the database, and I will hit reset password. It says please check your email inbox. Okay, so now I will go to my email inbox, and here is a new email from Income. It says reset password, and here it says, hi, in order to restore password, please click on the link below. Kind regards. So everything is looking good. And now if I click here, we will go to this file that at the moment of course doesn't exist. But as you can see here, we have passed an email, and then we have passed a token. And now this token needs to match the one in the table, which is right here. Okay. So now let's quickly create this reset password.php file. Okay, so I'll say new PHP file set password. Okay, and now here, first thing that we need to do is to just check if in our URL we have email. If we set get email and we set get token. Okay, and if we do not, we will just maybe redirect person to the our login PHP file. Okay, or maybe forgot password, whichever you want. I mean, I will usually just redirect to the login. And then here we need to get the email and the token, and of course I will just copy this connection and maybe this line here so that I don't write again everything. Okay, and I will just duplicate this and get token. Okay, and now in our table we need to verify that we actually have matching input. So I will say SQL equal connection query, and then I will say select ID from users where, and here I will say email equal email and token equal token and token different than M2 and token expire bigger than now. Okay, so let's see what I'm doing here. So first we want to make sure that email exists and it's equal this email. Then I want to make sure that email and token are the same, and of course that token is not empty, because when you create a user probably this token will be empty. So if someone tried to reset password for this email and empty token, you'll be able to get inside. So I want to make sure that that is not going to happen. And then of course here we are checking for the 5 minutes. So if token expire is bigger than now, that means that the token is still not expired and we are able to log in to reset the password. So because of that, I will just say here if SQL number of rows bigger than 0, which means everything is okay. And now we are going to create just a new password and store it to database. Else it means that someone is trying to cheat, and I will again just redirect him to the same URL. So maybe let's quickly create this function. Okay, because we are going to use it on multiple places like this. And then here I will just say else redirect. Okay, and here we need to create again a random string that we will use. So maybe the better will be to have one file functions. So I'll just cut this, save, and create a new PHP file, let's say functions. Okay, so here in these functions I will say function generate new string. Okay, and I will say like this, and then return token. And maybe here we can say length, like how many characters the person wants, and by default it will be 10. Okay, and then maybe let's call this function redirect to login page. Okay, and I will just cut this and paste into our functions file. Okay, that's it. So here we will say token equal generate new string. Okay, and of course we need to include it at the top. So I'll say here requires once functions PHP, and the same thing we need to do here. Okay, so here we can say that our new password is equal generate new string, and now we will need to encrypt this password and store to the database. So I'll say new password encrypted equal, and then I will use function password hash, and I will use bcrypt algorithm. So if you never see this password hash function, it's actually the latest version of the best way to protect your login system, and I do have about a tutorial on my YouTube channel about password hashing, so just go and watch it. Okay, and now all we need to do is to actually update it in the database. So I will say connection query update users set password equal new password encrypted. Okay, and then here I will say where email equal email. Okay, and maybe we can now set token equal empty so that the person is not able to use the same token again. Okay, so with one token he can only reset password once. Okay, and that's it. And now of course we just need to display new password to our users. So I'll say just echo your new password is new password. Okay, and then maybe we can say click here to log in, and of course you can create a link here. So maybe I will just say like this, login PHP. Okay, and that's it. So let's make a test for all the things that we have done at the moment. Okay, so if I now try to refresh, I have been redirected to the login PHP because my token has been expired. Okay, so I'm just going to try again. So write my email here, set password, it says please check your email inbox, and it's here. Okay, so I will click, and now it says your new password is this, and click here to log in. And if we now check our users table, you can see now that the password has been changed and the token is empty, which means that we have did everything correctly. So pretty much guys, that's it. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you do, please like it and share it to your friends. And of course, if you have any questions or doubts or whatever it might be, please ask in the comments below. Take care.